Aaron Langston's daughter. I want to tell you a little bit about my mom to remember her and to celebrate her life. My mom loved Jesus. She was a devoted follower of Christ. So even though my heart is heavy with sadness and I miss her greatly, I know I will see her again in heaven. We can rejoice today because she is in a perfect place with her Lord and Savior. He has wiped away her tears, and she no longer has any pain. And I'm guessing she looks young and beautiful and vibrant again. My mom met my dad and married him when she was only 18 years old. They wanted children, but for some reason, God didn't give them children for another 11 years. They had decided to adopt, but by the time the adoption agency had called them about a baby, my brother had already been born. They never dreamed that they could have any more children, but 4 years later, my mom felt like she had the flu. Her Aunt Grace suggested she might be pregnant, and sure enough, she was pregnant with me. My mom was thrilled to have a boy and a girl. She was a great mom and loved my brother and me wholeheartedly. We almost lost her to cancer when I was 6 years old. My parents prepared for her death and sold the lake cottage that we had so many great memories in. I remember in the middle of her battle with cancer that I had gotten hurt at school. She had to pick me up from school and take me to the doctor to get stitches in my chin, and then we had to go to the hospital where she got radiation on her cancer, and then we had to go get x-rays and a cast on my arm, and I can remember her running out of the building, and I didn't know why until later I found out that she was getting sick from the radiation in the parking lot. But God healed her from cancer because God still had plans for her here on earth. Mom not only took care of us physically, she took care of us spiritually. She taught us about Jesus at home, and we went to church whenever the church was open. Growing up, we attended the Gospel Temple. We were there Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, and for any other special activity that was going on. Mom wrote the newspaper for the church, which was called the Temple Times. Later, she organized the socials at church. She would set up the tables, the food, the drinks, and even plan the entertainment. She often plans funny skits because she loved to laugh and she loved to make others laugh. One time she rented a gorilla costume and dressed up in it. She barged into the large room where people were socializing, making ape-like noises. Everyone stopped to look to see what the commotion was. She was jumping around the room and even sat in a gentleman's lap. This got many laughs from the congregation. Another time she planned a Sunday school party at our house where my dad and she operated on my brother Tim to get the orneriness out of him. They did the operation behind a sheet, so the guests only saw the shadows. To the music of The Flight of the Bumblebee, she and my dad pulled out items out of Tim, like a rubber chicken or a large bone, and threw them out into the crowd. This got laughter and some screams. My mom was the leader of a ladies group at church. It was called Mary Martha. They did a lot of help for missionaries. I would go along with her to the meetings, and at one time, at one of the meetings, she had me and my friend Peggy dress up as flight attendants, and all the ladies pretended to be on a plane traveling as missionaries. It was usually on the way home from Mary Martha that Mom would start to act silly. And she would stop and talk, she would talk to the stop lights. And she would tell them, please stay green lights. Please don't turn red. Stay green lights, stay green. And she would say this, and we would laugh. And but they didn't always listen. But I can still hear her words I could still hear her voice saying those words in my mind. And sometimes I still say that with my girls in the car. Mom also had a heart for people with special needs. I remember she took one special needs lady under her wing. This was a sweet lady, but she was different, so people avoided her. But not my mom. My mom would take her to church activities, and she even took the time to teach her to help with the church socials and how to make punch and to serve it. She made this lady feel important and loved. And my mom wanted people to feel special. One Christmas, my mom handmade clothespin doll ornaments for everyone in her very large Sunday school class. I remember she must have made over 100 clothespin dolls, specifically tailored to each person. If someone had the talent of playing the saxophone, that person had a little saxophone up to its mouth. I still have the one she made me when I was in the high school marching band. She made the marching uniform on the clothespin doll, and on the pipe cleaner hands, it had little mallets since I played the bells. One of my favorite memories with my mom was when we would stay up late on the weekends to watch the old shows on TV. We'd watch Gracie Allen and George Burns and Groucho Marx, but our favorite was I Married Joan, and we had to stay up till 12:30 to watch that, but it was worth it to just stay up and laugh with my mom. Every night, my mom would come into my room to pray for me. And this was actually my favorite time to talk, but she would be so tired, and I knew she needed to sleep, but she would stand in the doorway of my room just to listen to me talk.
Amen.
My mom had a special talent. She could talk to anyone. When I didn't have a boyfriend, she liked to try to help me out and find me one. She would let the cute cashiers know at the store that I was single. Or she would tell young men at church all about me that she thought would make a good husband. One time I had to go to the podiatrist because I had plantar warts on my foot. She must have thought he would make a good husband. She told him I was single. But my mom was a homebody. She hated to travel, and she especially was scared to fly on airplanes. She showed me, my husband and I live in Texas, and she showed me how much she loved me when she traveled all by herself to Texas on an airplane to take care of me after I had a surgery. There are many things my mom loved and did that I will cherish in my heart. Her love of animals, especially kitty cats. Her love of babies and how she watched my baby Amanda when she was only 3 weeks old, so Steve and I could go to Hawaii. How she made up nicknames for everyone that she cared about, like Steve-a-Roni, Snooks, and Booge. How she loved to watch Lawrence Welk in the Carol Burnett show. How she hated to travel or leave home, but once she got to her destination, she loved it. She loved to garage sale and buy treasures she found. How she loved the color yellow and the flavor lemon. How she wore warm vests in the wintertime. Listening to Burl Ives' Christmas music at Christmas. Her love of eating shortbread cookies and reading the guidepost. But most of all, I will remember how much she loved me and my brother and how proud she was of us.